So here are all of our squares and we are going to get started. Hi, I'm Beth. This is Summer and we are Chic Crochet. Summer lost a couple of pounds of hair yesterday, so you can see she is looking nice and trimmed up. Summer, can you say hi? Can you say hi? She is not in the mood. You're not in the mood after spa day, are you? She's naked under here. She's naked under here. Let's see. All gone. But our groomer does such a good job. She still leaves her with these little boots. So she's wearing her little boots and she's got her fluffy tail. Her tummy is all nice and trim and she's got her little hair on top and you just looking cute, honey. You're just looking cute. So what are we talking about today? We're gonna talk about our bag. Yeah, we are. We're going to get started on the assembly. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna lay Summer down, let her rest, and we will get started. So here are all of our squares and we are going to get started laying them out. I'm going to move you to the overhead camera so you can join in on the fun. I'm back. So I have you in frame the best that I can and we are going to lay out our squares. And to start with, I'm going to tell you, I got a little carried away. So I'll have more than 13. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And I'm actually glad that I made more than I needed because that gives me some choices. I can eliminate a couple if there's something that I just don't like, or if there's a particular color I want to include more than others, I can do that. So that is what I've done. I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to kind of put them together in, group the colors together a little bit. That one is unique. So that one is the only one that is like that. So I'm going to put it there. And here's our greens. And now we're getting into our teals and blues. This one's kind of unique also. So there are our squares kind of grouped together. And all right, I'm going to count again. I should probably, yeah, so I've got 9 here, 10. Yeah, I've got 15. Okay, so I'm going to eliminate 2. I know for sure one that I want to eliminate, and it is this one, because this is the very first one I made, and I didn't think that would bother me, but now it does. So I should have just clipped that off before I started, because this is the beginning of the, actually, well, yeah, you can tell that's the first stitch I made. And I should have just clipped that off and started fresh without that color in there, because now it is bothering me. So I'm going to toss that one out. Next, I think I might toss out this solid one, but I'm not sure because all the others I like. I don't see anything else that is popping out that is bothering me. So I'll take that one out since it's almost all one color. It's not varied. So we'll put that one out and go from there. So now the issue is trying to get everything evenly distributed. And what we're going to do is you're going to turn it on a diagonal and you're going to do 5 and 5, and then I'll show you where to put the other remaining squares. All right, I'm going to try something new here, and you will be witnessing the first time I have ever done it this way. I usually just pick up a row and start stitching it together, but this time I think I'm going to stitch it together with stitch markers and see if this works, and see if I can get the bag in the actual shape it's going to be before stitching it together, and we'll see if this works. I have this little bowl of stitch markers here. This bowl, by the way, my baby girl, the youngest one, made that when she was in probably 2nd grade. And she just moved recently, as I have told you, to a different state. And she was here cleaning out her room. She didn't live with us. She lived in an apartment nearby. But I asked her to just kind of tidy up. Well, her room was tidy, but she has a lot of stuff. So I just asked her if there's anything she can eliminate that she definitely didn't want, could she just go ahead and get rid of that? And what I was talking about was old clothes and things like that. Well, when she had her bag of things she was going to toss out, or a box, I saw all of her old pottery in it. And I said, "What are you doing with that?" And she said, "I'm going to throw it out." And I said, "You absolutely, absolutely are not throwing that out." And I took it. She had one that is the size of a little cylinder, like just a narrow cylinder, this bowl, and then another one that's like a large cup, like that size. And I took all of them. So the cup, the large cup, I keep my amigurumi sticks in. I use that for my stitch markers or for my odds and end stitch markers that I don't keep all in the box. And then what did I, oh yeah, the other one, the more narrow cylinder, that is holding my pens and scissors and that kind of thing. So now I have the complete set, the complete matching set from my daughter that she made. They're all the same color, so they look pretty good together. But I was just not going to let her throw away a treasure like that. That was insane. There's just so many other things she could be throwing out in that bedroom. This stitch marker, I'm going to throw in the trash. Okay, so I have a bad stitch marker here. It's not one of the box sets that I got. This was actually a free set that was offered to me through Amazon Vine. So I took it, and they're okay, but yeah, there's some imperfections in there. So when I find one of those bad ones, we're going to just toss that out so we don't continue to pick it up and use it again. What do you think about this idea? Trying to, oh, there's another one. Oh my gosh, these are terrible. I have to, okay, no. Yeah, the tab is pushed down too far. Haven't left the review for these markers yet, but I will be doing so, and I'm gonna have to say this is not the set that I would be buying. They're okay in a pinch when you need something extra, because I don't want to get into my stitch markers in the box that I have all organized and mess those up for something like this. So they're serving a purpose, but I do not like it when I find those little imperfections in the plastic. Also, they didn't come in a box. They came in just a bag of loose mixed up stitch markers, and I don't like that either. So I would not suggest spending my money on those. There are way better choices out there, like the other ones that I provided links to in my previous videos. I hope this works. Like I said, I have never tried this method before, and I actually haven't seen anyone try this before. I could go a lot faster if I were just stitching it together, but for you out there who have not made a bag like this, or maybe have not made a bag at all, I just wanted to give you a visual and give you an idea of how these are going to be put together. And maybe you want to do it this way if you are a beginner. I will tell you, when you start putting everything together and you pick up a square and walk away, and then you come back and get your next row, it's very difficult to remember which way you turned it and in what position you had it. You can take a picture of it. I do that a lot of times when I put out my squares and I've assembled the configuration the way I want it. I'll just take a snapshot, and then if I get them, or as I am assembling them, I will just go back and reference my picture and make sure that I'm not, I'm not moving them around and getting them out of space, because that would be a real pain. That you've got it just how you want it, and then you put it all together, and then you realize you've moved one and you've put two colors together, or just, made a mistake like that. All right, here's another. That one is completely worthless. Worthless. Jeez. That is a pain. Okay. I'm trying to do less editing on my videos and get better at that. And I do feel like the more YouTube I do, the more comfortable I get on camera, and try to reduce the quick edits and that sort of thing. So there might be some more dead space in my videos if I do that, but it makes things faster. It goes a lot faster if I'm not having to edit all of that out. And it kind of makes just my whole uploading and video experience better, because I'm not spending so much time that I only can get out one video a week, or gosh, it can really bog you down. The editing can. It's very time consuming. I can spend a couple of hours filming on a video that I know I'm going to edit, so I stop and start a lot. And that's an investment of a couple of hours, not to mention the preparation for the video, trying to figure out what you're going to film and just making your notes and making sure you're not leaving out anything and trying to make the video cohesive. But then I can literally spend 2 days or more editing. I know that might be shocking, but it is shocking even when I say it out loud. It's ridiculous. So I am trying to get better, get my flow better, where I am not having to edit so much, and that way I can get more content out to you. It's more pleasant for me. I hope it's not a pain for you to listen to, because when I look at the unedited footage, I say "so" a lot, way too many times. And the other thing I do is I smack my lips. So when I'm, like I just said, "so," and when I'm starting to speak, I'll go and make that sound, or sometimes I do it at the end of a sentence, and I am sorry for that. That is annoying, and I'm trying to improve that behavior, but I hope that the unedited footage is not so painful for you to watch, because I'm just trying to get quality content out to you in just a reasonable amount of time, and try to circumvent the process and just make it better. Okay, I kind of like this this I just forgot the name. The stitch markers, started to call it safety pin. The stitch marker version, I like this. All right, so there's a few places that it's not pinned on the other side. So I'm gonna try and flip it over. Now I need to pin it here and here, and then on the other side where I folded this piece over. This method may be my new method. I like this. I like being able to see what the bag is going to look like and if my pattern layout is cohesive. And I do think it's going to help when I'm stitching it together to not forget what pieces go where. Now I will have to unstitch as I go, of course. Here's another bad stitch marker. You're out of here, buddy. Not gonna deal with that. Okay. I had a really good reaction to when I released the announcement for this video. Of course, now you're seeing this video is toward the end, although I just filmed the announcement and released that yesterday, but you're not seeing all these in sequence. But anyway, I was happy with the crochet along feedback, and that just made me very happy to know that people are engaged and they're interested. And that kind of feedback just lets me know what kind of content you're interested in seeing. So that was very positive. It's so nice to put effort into something and then you see a result. You can see, oh, okay, they did like that. That worked out. Because I've mentioned before that I spent so much time, money, and effort, you know, in redoing my studio. Probably over $1,000. I don't know, maybe, I can't remember how much I spent, but I did spend quite a bit of money to redo my studio, and a lot of work and effort. And I just released that video thinking, oh, everyone's just gonna love this video, and it flopped. I mean, the feedback I got on people who did watch it, they liked it, but the views on it were very low, and that just did not make sense to me. But oh well, what can I do? And you work on a video and work on a video and work on a video and release it, and it just flops. And then you just throw something out there just to get something out there, and then it gets a lot of attention. So I have not got this YouTube thing quite figured out, but I'm still working on it. We're still learning together. All right, so here, let's see, we're not going to, I can't remember. Yeah, you don't. This piece and this piece. Yeah. So these two pieces are not going to be joined here, and they're not going to be joined here. They will be joined here and here. And then your straps are going to go from here over to here. Wait, I'm sorry. It's been a long time since I've made this particular bag. Too long. Yeah, your strap's going to go over here to here, and then the same on the other side. So that concludes the parts that are going to be pinned together. So what do you think? I'm not going to steam it, not going to steam these blocks until I'm done, and then I'm going to press it and steam it together. Now to join it, I like the standing seam that stands up. So I'm going to join it from the front instead of flipping it inside out. If you flip it inside out and you join it, then it's going to be kind of an invisible seam here. But the way I'm doing it, I would like to have that standing seam. So that is what I would like to do. All right, now that I see this, I'm thinking this one and this one look very similar. Should I move this over here? But if I do, then this one and this one and this one are going to all be in a row. So I don't think I can fix that. I think I should just leave well enough alone. And on here, I'm happier with the distribution on this side, although this one and this one are kind of similar. That really doesn't bother me. Let's see on the other side, although I could turn this to where this color is more up against that instead of this, because on the other side that this block stands alone. It's not up against another similar color. All right, that's going to be a little bit of a pain, but I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to turn it around. So I'm going to have to unhook it on both sides here to do that. And we're going to join this on camera a little bit, and then I'm just going to sit and crochet and chat. I'm not going to assemble the entire thing on camera. I don't think that's necessary once I get you going. And that's more of a tutorial than a crochet along, and that's not the intention I had. This is supposed to be more of a crochet along, not a tutorial. All right, so let's do it this way. Do you like that better? I think that gives it a little more variation. I think I'm going to go with that. So let's pin you back into place. Okay, we're almost done. I'm going to turn off the camera and get everything ready to start assembling our first row or joining our first row, and I'll be right back. And we're back. So this is how I am going to do it. And I'm going to start right here and go ahead and fasten on. And you want to be, you want to be the same on both sides and line your stitches up. But if you get off, don't worry about it too much. Just try to keep your, like, here's your triples, here's your doubles, here's your half doubles, here are your, here's your doubles, and here's your triples again. So just try to make sure those are lined up, but don't get too freaked out if you get a stitch off here or there. You can fix that. You can do like 2 stitches on one side and 1 stitch on the other side, almost like an increase or decrease if that happens. So that happens to me sometimes, and I do not frog it. I just try to make sure I get it evened up, and it never shows. No one will ever know, and you will even forget it's there. So if I told you what bags I've ever done that on, I couldn't even tell you, because it's just like a non-event. It's just not a big deal. So I just keep on trekking when that happens. I just keep going. All right, so, sorry, I'm gonna put my little handy dandy yarn holder right here, and I'm joining with the ivory. You could join with your retro stripe if you want to, and that would be pretty, but I'm just going to join with the ivory. So I'm slip stitching on, and I like to go in between these stitches here. So I like to line up these top of these stitches across the top, and I'm going through the parts of the stitches that are closer together. So I'm going in between each stitch. So I'm going in through the middle of the stitch and coming out the other side of the middle of the stitch, and that puts the edges of the stitches together. I hope that makes sense. And if you don't want to do it that way, if you want to go under both sides of both stitches, you can do that. I just don't want to do it that way. It kind of makes the stitches a little too bulky, and I don't want my seams that bulky. I want them to be standing, but not too fat and chunky. Okay, so you can slip stitch across, or you can, or you can single crochet across, and I prefer to single crochet across. I like that look better than the slip stitch look, but you do it however you prefer. I'm going to just do a few, and then I'm going to move my hand and hold it up closer to the camera so you can see how it's looking, and you can decide if you like that sort of stitch or not. Okay. All right, so when you're done, it's going to look like this. It's going to have this standing stitch in it. So that's how I'm going to do it, and I'm going to just go sit and chat with you with the camera on me. Summer and I have moved our little operation outside because it is a beautiful Carolina blue day, and I do not want to be in the house on a day like this. The temperature is like 81, 82. It's just perfection for me. Now, if I were in the sunshine, that might be a little hot, but in the shade, it is just perfect. Perfect, isn't it, Summer? If we were in the sun, we would be in the pool, wouldn't we? This bag is going to turn out so good. It's, I love this pattern of bag. I don't know who designed this style or what you would call it, if there's a particular name for the shape of it, but my Chasing Sunshine bag is just turning out to be exactly what I hoped it would be. So you know when you see something really pretty like the starburst, or the sunburst retro stripe blanket, and you know when you make something like that, you want to show it off, or you want people to see it and appreciate how beautiful it is too. But unless they come home with you and see it in your house, or that you post it on social media, you don't have a lot of opportunity for that. But when you make a bag and carry the bag and you get to wear it, that's different. When people compliment you or ask you where you got it, or will you make them one, although I'm not going to make anyone one, but it's nice to be asked. I love that. So that is maybe why I love the bags so much, because you actually get to wear it. You get to use it. It's functional. You get to, it just becomes a part of your outfit and a part of what you're wearing. I love that. What's wrong, Summer? Summer's over here shivering like it's 50 degrees outside. Come here. It's like 80 degrees outside. Come here. What's wrong? What's wrong? Come over here where they can see you. Come over here. You want to sit with Mommy? I have a tray in between us, and I think that's the problem. She's upset because she couldn't get to me. Is that what it is? You can't lay on the bag. No, I'm sorry. You can't lay on the bag. How about we put, okay, let's see. This is real life, folks. This is what happens when you're not editing. This is real life. Okay, and there went my hook. Please don't go through the cracks of the porch. Dear, dear, oh dear. All right, how about this? Do you want to sit here? Will that satisfy you? Huh? If you don't get settled, I'm going to have to put you back inside, because you are just messing up our whole routine here, and I only have a limited time to film. And we're back. My sister called, and I had to take that call, so I crocheted quite a bit without you. But what I have learned is I was able to do the whole front without having to cut off and restart, fasten off rather. And this is really interesting because I have never done this before, been able to crochet that much on the join without having to detach and reattach. So I think I'm going to be able to possibly attach the entire thing in one motion without having to fasten off. And the game changer has been the stitch markers, because without the stitch markers, I would not have realized this, because I would have been picking up, putting down, and it's just harder to see what I'm seeing now if you're not attaching it before you start. So I'm going to show you what I mean. I started here, I went down and around and up. Yes, that's what I did. I went down and around and up, and then I turned and I went this way. So I haven't fastened off yet, and I'm here. I'm going to be able to go up, and then let's see if I can do it again, and then flip over and come around to this side without fastening off, and go down and oh, that was already attached. Okay. So I won't be able to do that on both sides. I'm going to be able to come up and go down this way, and then this piece is already attached, so I can't come around and go back up. But I am going to be able to get a lot done without fastening off. Just looking at it and seeing if there's another route I can take that will allow me to do the other side and not fasten off. I don't think so, because it would be necessary to be able to route around this piece, and I don't want to go over it again because it's already fastened. So anyway, you can at least get one side entirely done and part of the other side without fastening off. So this has been a fascinating experiment for me, which I did not realize I could do. And I've made so many of these bags, so that's just crazy that I'm just now noticing that I can do that. And the stitch markers are what have made the difference. So I'm going to be using the stitch markers on this process from now on. That is incredible. And if you want to see my seam, so see the standing seam, that is the way I like. I like the seam to show. I just think it gives it more visual interest. And if you're looking at the other side, the seam would look like that. It would be flat. So I like the ridge in it. I just think it's pretty. All right, Summer, let's keep crocheting. This is going really fast. I thought that I was going to have to make this into maybe 2 or 3 episodes, just the join, but I don't need to do it all on camera because that would make this video way too long. And I want to get my bag finished. I don't know about you, but I do want to get my bag finished and start carrying this pretty bag. I just know that this is a bag that is going to garner compliments and interest. I'm trying to think of what I'm going to style with it. And I might do a little style segment of the video at the end, like I like to do sometimes. I have a pretty yellow dress that I wore to on vacation last year, or the year before last, actually. I haven't worn it this year. I think I've worn it to church once or twice, but it's very bright yellow, and I got it at Banana Republic. It's just a simple, like, sundress. Definitely not sundress in the way that, you know, it has the straps. It has little puffy sleeves, but it's very cool and summery, and the material, the fabric is thin. It's lined, but it's thin, and it is just a bright sunny yellow, and I think that would look very pretty with this. So I think that is what I'm going to try to wear with it. I don't know if I've ever told y'all this, but Summer's favorite color is yellow, isn't it? It's your signature color. It's her signature color. I've already joined this way. Sorry if I'm hitting my mic. I already joined this way. And then when I go back across it in this corner here, you can just slip stitch over it if you want to. There's no real right or wrong way to do that. Where are you going? I've been lately, hubby and I have been doing HelloFresh, and I had not tried a food subscription before, or a meal subscription. And I kind of feel like I'm cheating, like I'm not a good wife if I do something like that. When my kids were little, I felt like if I did something like that, I was not being a good mom. I know that's ridiculous, ridiculous. But my mother always made everything from scratch. She cooked 3 meals a day, every day. And so that is how I grew up. And I am not as good at all of that domestic stuff as she was. Definitely not, as she was the queen. She was super mom. She was. And I've never been able to fill those shoes. Not even close. But anyway, we go out to eat maybe once or twice a week. And then the rest of the time, I try to cook and have a meal prepared every evening when he gets home. He's worked a very long day. Not that I haven't, but he just works really hard and always has to provide for us. So I like to keep him as comfortable as I can. And we started talking about possibly doing HelloFresh because I told him I was just having a really hard time coming up with meal ideas. It's not that I really mind cooking, but I just hate trying to, oops, okay. I'm ready to flip the bag over. Let me flip the bag over and then I'll finish my HelloFresh story. So I'm up here, and what you don't want to do, you want to make sure you don't close this seam and this seam here, because these points are the top of your bag. And if you close those seams, your opening is just going to be right here. And it's not going to be big enough for you to get your hand inside of. So don't do this, and don't do this, and of course don't do this. So these top areas, leave them open. So now I'm ready to flip the bag over and go down the other side, because I have finished this side in one seam without having to fasten off. And I think that is pretty cool. I just can't believe I'm today years old when I figured out I didn't have to do that. Duh. Jeez, Beth, what in the world? It's those stitch markers. Had it not been for those stitch markers, I would not have realized that. So, sorry, I'm having to use a little brain power to get flipped over here and go down the other side. So bear with, please bear with. Okay, now we're ready to go down the other side, and I can mosey on down and keep chatting. All right, so HelloFresh, back to my HelloFresh discussion. I don't like trying to figure out what to make and making sure I have all the ingredients and just trying to come up with original ideas. And I believe he was getting a little sick of my repeated wash and repeat meal cycle. So I'm just making the same thing over and over. And I don't take offense to that, because I was sick of it too. I am just sick of making the same thing over and over. And I do that just because of simplicity or lack of planning ahead. I'll stay busy all day, and then it comes evening and I haven't put any thought into what we're having for dinner, and then I just throw together the easiest thing, which is typically something like chicken and broccoli are usually involved. And you know, you can only eat so much of that until you're just sick of it. So I think he may have even brought up the meal plan or subscriptions, had I ever considered it. And when he brought that up, I was all over it. I was like, you don't have to ask me twice. And I looked up some videos and watched some YouTube reviews of the different kinds, and HelloFresh kept coming up on top. Seemed like that was everyone's overall favorite by a long shot. So that's what I did. We signed up for a HelloFresh subscription and ordered our first meals. I decided that I was going to start with 4 meals a week, and then the rest of the time we would rely on, you know, something I just make, or maybe even leftovers if we have them from the HelloFresh, or if we have leftovers from going out to eat, because generally if we go out to eat, that's going to feed us for 2 days. So we will go out to eat and then both bring home leftovers. I'll have my leftovers the next day, he'll have his, and then so that covers like 2 days worth of meals. And so I only signed up for 4 days, primarily because we're new to it and I didn't know how much we would like it. and I didn't want to commit to too many meals a week. And even though, you know, you get the meals, you don't have to do the grocery shopping. Everything comes, and it's really cool how they just have everything you need in the package. I think the only thing I've had to add is butter on an occasion. I'll have to do some added butter, salt and pepper, and cooking oil, olive oil. That's it. That's the only ingredients I have had to supplement. And that has made life a lot easier. So last week was our first, no, excuse me, this week is our first week. We've had 3 of them. Last night we ate out, and tonight I'm going to make the last one, and we've been pretty impressed. It's pretty good. I can't remember the names of the recipes are pretty detailed, so I'm not going to try and tell you which ones we had, but some sort of Asian salad was the first one, and next we had an Italian dish. And what was the other one? Oh, the other one was a Korean pork dish. That was really good. And you're supposed to serve rice with it, and it even came with the rice. I mean, most people have rice in their pantry, but I didn't even have to provide the rice. It came with that. And it's just been so nice to have a good meal that is just easy to prepare. It's all thought out for you. I don't have to think about the ingredients. And also it comes with this big recipe card, so it's super easy. The first time, I think there was a bit of a learning curve. I was going real slow, and I was reading and trying to get every step and make sure that I did everything correctly. And by the second one already, I knew how they were laying out their recipes, and a lot of the things they repeat in every recipe, that the verbiage is just repeated, so I don't have to reread it, like wash your vegetables, dice and chop, and those things that now I just skip over that. And when I see the ingredient, I know that I'm supposed to do that thing with it, and I don't have to pay a lot of attention to the instructions. And that's only after the 3rd meal. So the speed of it has picked up a lot, and they are really good. The flavor is very good. And this is not a sponsored video, by the way. HelloFresh has sent me nothing. I'm just telling you my experience of what it's been like this week. And not only are the flavors just really good and interesting and new to us, or new to something that I've made at home, the variety has been really good. Now, do I want to eat this every day? Probably not. I don't think I want to do that. But 4 seems to be a good number. Yeah, 4 is good. There's some things that I think that I can make better than, make a meal taste better than what I can get from HelloFresh, but not every night. No, I'm not going to be able to produce that many good tasting, well-balanced, flavorful meals every night, or even 4 nights a week. So it has just taken a load off, really. Anywhere I can automate my life, I want to do that. I enjoy doing that. It just gives me more time to do other things that I can enjoy, or it gives me more time to do things that are income producing. So time is definitely money. And if I can automate my life a little bit and make things simpler and more streamlined, I'm all for that. I am all for that. And another thing I will tell you about HelloFresh is I've been very shocked at just how fresh the ingredients are. So a lot of times they include fresh herbs, most of the time fresh herbs, and several fresh vegetables. What is it? It's just the wind. It's just the wind. No one's here. Actually someone is here. I think it's Daddy. Interruption number 2. Daddy came home, and I took a little break, and I looked in the mirror, and I'm not wearing any mascara. And I haven't been wearing mascara this entire video. So, like I said, I'm trying some unedited video and trying not to edit so much. So this is real life. This is real life. You're going to see me apply my mascara. Do you want to know about this mascara? This is not a commercial. Oh my dear. Oh my dear. I'm using Babe Lash mascara if you want to know. You know how when you get older you feel like your face disappears, like your features start getting washed out and just blending into your face, and you have to put more and more on so that you can actually see your features. That's how I feel anyway. So, oh my gosh, when I just looked in the mirror, I was horrified to see that I wasn't wearing mascara. Dear goodness, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yes, I'm vain. I know. I know. It's a problem. It's a problem, isn't it, Summer? She's vain too, so she's no one to ask. You're vain too, aren't you, babe? Where was I? Ugh. I'm going to finish my sentence about HelloFresh. What I was going to say is it is shocking how fresh those herbs and vegetables actually are in those boxes. So I am surprised every time I open one of the HelloFresh packages and find how crispy and green. One of them had spinach, one of them had broccoli, and it was just like the most beautiful head of broccoli I had ever seen and the most perfect bag of spinach I had ever seen. So that has been impressive. Very impressive. We are coming up the back side of the bag, and I will have to fasten off after this. I came down this way, and instead of going all the way down, I came up this way. Actually, I don't like that. I think I'm going to frog that and go down that way and then fasten off. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. I have opened up my community tab finally. I don't know what took me so long to do that, but I think it might have been the fear that no one was there or that I wouldn't get any response or interaction or dialogue with y'all. But everyone has been so sweet and kind to pop in the comments and tell me what you're making and started describing what you're making. And then that spurred me on to think I have got to open that community tab, because you can now drop in your photos and we can have a community. So we can talk and look at each other's photos and comment on them. But I would love for you to drop in your progress in the community tab. Maybe you're making something else. It doesn't have to be this bag, but if you are making this bag, I definitely want to see it. And I definitely want to see any color variations or how you're doing it differently. I would be shocked if any of us are doing it, if any two bags are going to look the exact same way. And that is just one of those things that is so fun about crochet. There's so many variations you can do on the same pattern just by choosing different ideas or variations, but also, of course, choosing different yarns. And we all have a different way of doing things. So I would just love, 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 love to see some of those photos, and let's just share and see what each other are doing. That would be just awesome. Please do that. Please drop some of those photos in, and let's get that community tab going. So I'm probably going to pop off of here and finish this off camera. Yeah, I am down to here, to the bottom almost. So I'm down here, and I'm going to have to fasten off here, and I'm going to tie back on here and go up, I think. Yes, and then I'll be able to go back down this way. And I'm not sure. That might leave one more gap down here that I'm going to have to fasten off and go back and grab. But either way, it's going to look great. It's going to look fantastic. This is the finished side. Oh, look at that. It's so pretty. So pretty. I love it. I'm really happy with it. And then I'm going to do my straps. I might do some of the straps on camera, but again, probably not going to do the entire thing. And then we're going to do our bag charm. So I'm going to sign off for now, and Summer and I We'll catch up with you at the beginning of the next video when I will have this part complete and we will be starting the strap and doing the bag charm, and then we'll be finished. Summer, you want to say bye? Come here, baby. Come here. Come here. Oh, I gotta catch her, sorry. All right, come on, baby. Burr, burr, burr. All right, so Summer and I say, what do we say? What do we say? Remember, everyone, let your light shine and always stay chic. Bye-bye. Tell them bye-bye. Bye. You want to say bye-bye? Bye. Chic, chic, crochet.